Good evening, everyone. It is Lewis Meyer, the producer of Capital Convention. So, welcome to our online sessions. So, every week we've been having some online classes on the different forms of children's entertainment. And tonight we're going to jump into puppets. And so I hope you're excited about this. It's Puppets has become a very big part of Capital Convention in the past. And then next year it's about to explode. And so we'll tell you a little bit more about that as we're waiting for people to come on. So thank you for those of you watching the replay right now. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate you hopping on and watching this. I know some people couldn't make it tonight, but I know you'll be watching this in the replay. And so we've been going through all these different online classes every week. We've done some face painting class, some clown classes, magic classes, balloon classes, and we're going to continue tonight with our a puppet class. And so not only that, but we're going to actually talk a little bit about our new puppet track that'll be at Capitol Convention. So, this is a very interactive session tonight. So, what I would suggest is if you have any comments or questions, please type them wherever you're watching this. Just type it in the comment section. I'll see them, and then we'll make sure that Dan has an opportunity to see them too. And so, feel free to do that because it's meant to be a very interactive class while we're doing this live. Of course, if you're watching this on the replay, you won't be able to ask questions. But so without further ado, let me introduce. Let me give you a little background first. We've been doing some puppet classes at Capitol Convention for quite a few years, and the puppet classes are always exciting and well attended. But this year, we've decided to actually create an entire puppet track. And what is a puppet track? And that means that basically Capital Convention is a whole bunch of conventions in one convention. So, for example, if you're a face painter, you could attend Capital Convention and have a choice of classes to take throughout the entire 3 days while you're at Capital Convention. If you're a magician, same thing. You have all these different classes. You could come and only take those classes. But if let's say you're interested in learning a little bit about balloon animals, you could also dive into a balloon class if you want to. So we have these different tracks of classes that are going on simultaneously. And so this year, we're going to create an entire puppet track, which is going to be a whole slew of classes that are going to be going on just about puppets. So I don't want to say too much about it without inviting Dan. So Dan has graciously become our director of the puppet track. And so Dan has been working on a lot of things in the background this week, last week, probably ever since convention ended this year. And so I'm going to invite him to come in and so that we can talk to him a little bit about what we have in store for the puppet track. So, hello, Dan.
Hi, Lewis.
Welcome. So,
Applause.
yeah, yeah, welcome. So I was just telling everyone about the puppet track that we're going to be starting this year. So tell us a little bit about. I told them that you've been hard at work. So give us an idea of what the puppet track looks like.
Oh, this is so exciting, and it's such an honor. Very humbled to be a part of Capital Convention and be able to lead this puppet track. And we definitely saw a need and an interest with a lot of people wanting to put puppets in their show or use that somehow in what they're doing, whether it's face painting or ballooning. How do I incorporate puppets? Because everybody loves puppets. So how do
Yeah.
you do that? How do you do it effectively? And being at Capital Convention this year, we really saw that and got to interact with some really great people who were interested. And we thought this really has the opportunity to be its own track that we can create to be a part of Capital Convention. And so we've created a big track, and I'll give you kind of a snapshot to get you excited about what's coming. But we're going to have a whole track of workshops, 9 to 10 workshops that you can take, and they're going to cover topics, everything from puppet manipulation and basic skills. So if you've never worked with puppetry, you're kind of interested, but where do you start? We have puppets for you to be able to kind of introduce you to the world of puppetry. If you've been in puppetry for a while, you've been using them in your show, and you're just going, how do I take it to the next level? We've got puppets instructors that are coming that are going to help you with that. We've got puppet character development, voice creation and development. We've even got some on puppet building. So if you wanted to build your own puppets, we have special workshops that are going to teach you how to build your own workshops, and it's going to be hands-on in this workshop. So you'll actually be able to come and build your own puppet, and you leave with your own puppet, not just the skills. That's going to be really neat. Puppets and magic, puppetry and magic. How do you incorporate both of those? Out of the box, just creative concepts and ideas of how you can use puppetry in your show, how you can incorporate that, how can anything become a puppet. And we have people that are very interested in ventriloquism that have never done it. So we're going to do some basic 101 classes of how to be a ventriloquist, how to begin to utilize that and learn that skill, because it's definitely a skill to be used. And so all of those different fun things are going to be a part of some of the workshops that we're going to do this year. And we decided that's not enough. We want to go to the next level and do more. And our jam sessions, Lewis, are a big part of Capital Kidvention, where balloon artists and face painters and everyone comes together. So we wanted to offer something in the world of puppetry with that. So our evening puppet jam sessions are going to be pretty fun. They're going to be open mic sessions where you get to sign up. If you've got a routine, or you're thinking about a routine, or you kind of like, I got this idea, I don't know if it'll work. This is going to be your platform to come and showcase that. So you'll be able to sign up. We have 2 evenings that we're going to dedicate in our puppet jam sessions for open mic. And you get to come and sign up, perform your routine, and all of our key instructors, our lead coaches, our lead instructors, will actually fill out a coaching form for you, and we'll be able to give that back to you with notes that you can use to enhance your performance and how well you're doing. So we're going to have 2 nights of that, and then we're going to have 1 night that's dedicated to puppet building and how to actually build puppets out of anything. So we're going to have 1 session like that. Some of our key instructors we're so excited about. We don't want to reveal them all right now, but I know you're going to be excited about them because we're bringing in some of the key players in the world of puppetry. We're talking to puppeteers from Disney, from Sesame Street that may be joining us, and some key players in this world of puppetry that I know you're going to want to learn from and hear from. And so we are asking them to do something special this year. And I know Lewis will want to talk about this a little bit more, where we're going to have special one-on-one coaching sessions available for all of our attendees and registrants this year. So you can, when you're registering, you can sign up for a special 30-minute coaching session with one of our coaches. And that coaching session, they'll go through puppetry with you. They'll look at your routines, all the things that you want to do in that coaching session. Some of our lead coaches will be able to help you with that. It's just going to be a really, really good convention. I'm excited about it, Lewis. I'm excited
Yeah.
about adding this puppet realm to what we're doing.
Yeah, well, so what you've just described is everything, like all the stuff that we're going to be doing this year. And I don't know if a lot of people know this. If you've been to Capitol Convention, what we do is we take classes during the daytime. So a lot of people are taking classes, and you're going to the different classes. The puppet classes will be during the daytime, and then we go to dinner, and then after dinner, we also the jam room opens up, and that's when face painters, balloon artists, and people get together for the jam and start playing around. The one thing that I noticed was that the magicians would, instead of going to the jam room, they would rather actually hang out together. And so we started adding more shows, magic shows at night, for people if they wanted to attend magic shows. But this year, because of the puppet track that we're going to be doing, you're going to have other options. So there's going to actually be, like Dan was saying, this puppet jam where people are just going to hang out, and you're going to have an opportunity to play with some puppets, or bring your puppet, learn from each other. And so basically, it's going to be in a separate jam room. So we're going to have the main jam room that's going on, that oftentimes can get loud and crazy at night. But we're going to have a separate jam room where the people can play around with the puppets and talk. And then also the workshop that Dan talked about, where you can actually create some puppets. And so instead of just dipping our toes in the water and puppets, we're jumping right on in, and we're going to give you a full-blown puppet convention. So you're going to have an entire puppet convention. If you're into puppets, you can just take puppet classes the entire time. But if you want to try out any of the different classes, you have the opportunity for that.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting time. And as the months go by, we'll begin to release some of our key instructors, key workshop leaders that are going to be a part of this. And I just know you're going to be very excited when you hear this. There's some names that you already know, that you're familiar with, that we're inviting back to be a part of this, and we're excited about that. So I know you're going to be really excited about what's coming this year.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And we're I won't say too much, but we're also thinking of if you're a natural Spanish speaker,
Mhm.
we might have an opportunity for you there too.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
We'll see what happens, but
Yeah.
so that gives you everyone a little glimpse into what we're going to be doing next year for Capital Convention. It's the end of January, into February. We don't share a lot of the details until August, so you won't see a lot of like the major details, like the instructors and which classes they're going to be teaching and all that sort of stuff. We spill all of that come August, and so we will try to tease some things as we go along, though.
Little
Um,
tease here and there.
yeah, yeah, a little tease. So tonight, that's what we just wanted to do, is to give you an idea. And again, those of you watching the replay, you can see this too. You get an idea of what we're thinking of doing for next year and what plans we've already put into place.
Yeah.
So, the rest of this program, we're gonna let Dan, from Dan's Puppets, to go over, and we're gonna learn a little bit about puppets for the remainder of our session tonight. And so, I just wanted to remind everyone, this is a very interactive session. So, as you can see from Mariana, little comments will show up at the bottom of the screen. So, if you have comments or questions, feel free to throw them in there, and we'll make sure that Dan gets those, so that can get answered in real time. So if you're here live, this is your opportunity. This is an actual class wherever you're sitting, to ask questions while we're going along. So Dan, if you're ready, I'm going to
We're
hop out
ready.
and let you take over.
All right. Well, thank you again, Liz, for the opportunity to do this, to be a part of it. So, one of the things that I've learned is people love ideas. Like, give me some ideas that maybe stimulate some creativity and help me come up with routines or cool stuff that I can do or put in my show or what I'm doing. And so that's what I want to do tonight, is give you some more ideas. You got to come to our workshops at Capital Convention this year. We shared a lot of ideas. We're going to share a few more. We're going to revisit some that we shared in our workshops, just in case you missed that. And so we have a season coming up, a holiday. It happens to be Easter. And if you are performing around the Easter time, or someone asks you, hey, can you do something with bunnies or rabbits, or can you incorporate Easter somehow? We're going to spend a little time tonight talking about lots of different rabbit things that you can incorporate in your show. So we're going to start with this little guy. And this is a book. This is a magic book. It is the Magical Egg Venture. Magical Adventure. Have any of you ever read this book, The Magical Adventure? Probably not, because it's a brand new book. And I'm so excited to introduce this book to you. And it's a magical book, so anything can happen. What is that? You see something. What do you see? A bunny? Well, yes, the book is about a bunny. There's a bunny on the front. Absolutely. There's a bunny on the front, and you can see the bunny. There's another bunny? No. There's bunny ears. Is there a bunny in the book? Oh, maybe that's part of the magic. Maybe the bunny will come out. Mr. Bunny, will you come out? Okay, well, maybe we can get the bunny to come out so we can see him. Mr. Bunny, will you come out so we can see you? And maybe you can take us on this magical adventure. Okay, Maybe if we say 1, 2, 3, Happy Easter, he'll come out. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, that was only one of you that's on there. Okay, let's try that again. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Come on out. Oh, you're not a bunny. Oh, you're a monkey. Oh, you want to be a bunny? Oh, so I won't go into the whole routine, but this is just a fun, cute idea because obviously the kids are expecting a bunny to pop out when they see the bunny ears. But all of a sudden it's a monkey and you've got bunny ears on the monkey. And it gives you kind of a shift and a change in an unexpected opportunity that happens. And then you can go into a whole routine and talk about eggs. You could do the magical egg production or anything of that nature as well. But I wanted to share this idea with you about the book. If you're at our lecture at Capital Convention, we talked about these books and how you could have a bookworm appear out of a magic book or whatever show you're doing. This next year is dinosaurs in our library show. So if you're doing a book on dinosaurs, or this year is art, that you've got a little bookworm or something of that nature that pops up that you can interact with. So I want to share with you about the books. This is just a little monkey puppet with a long sleeve. And you know the little headbands, the rabbit headbands, we just snip the ears off, pin those on the little monkey, and all of a sudden he has ears. So whether he's appearing out of the book or out of a top hat, and they think it's a bunny, and all of a sudden it's going to be a monkey. There's another version that you can do as well. If you don't have a monkey, maybe you have an alligator, maybe you have a cat, but any type of animal puppet would work and you can add ears to it. The books here, this happens to be, I'm going to show you how we got here to this particular book and how we made this. So I'll give you an idea. I've got a couple other puppets. So they have these boxes. And these particular boxes, this one we found at, I think it was at Home Goods. So Home Goods has these type of boxes that you can just kind of put scrapbooks, crafts, that type of thing in. They have a little flap. And they're cardboard, but they're covered with like a nice little paper. And so we take this, we kind of cut this edge off right here. When you cut that off, just like with an X-Acto knife or a blade, and just cut that off, it just becomes flat. And then we take the outside and we just paint it white, just spray paint it white, which is what we did with the base here. We cut a hole in the back, and you can see the hole is cut in the back. Cut a hole for your hand. Make the sides gold, so like it's the book. And then we come up with a cool title, some kind of creative title. And this happened to be The Magical Egg Venture. I don't know that that book actually exists, but we just came up with a unique title. And so when the puppet actually appears, you've got your hand that's coming out of the puppet, and he can appear. And we did the bunny ears out and out. And then we turn him over. So this actually becomes the puppet stage. So it hides your arm from the animal or the puppet not having legs or being a vent type of puppet, because this becomes your actual puppet stage as it's actually appearing. And you can do this, like this is an Easter theme, but if you have a Pirates theme, if you have an art theme, you have a dino theme, recycling theme, it's a book on recycling, and then a little monster appears. So you can use anything like that. But these boxes you can get, this was like $10. I think they're on sale for like 40–50% off. You can get it for $5. And kind of a cheap thing you can do, and then put that in your show. So that's an idea. Give you an idea of some other puppet characters that you can use as well around this time. Things that you could make appear out of a book. This little bunny type of puppet, and we talked about this in our lecture as well. But this is a little bunny puppet. It's like he kind of looks a little like a monster bunny, maybe. But my friend Tim Presley came up with an idea of calling this a dust bunny. And he does a whole routine on Dusty the Dust Bunny, which is really cool. It was in the lecture notes that we did at Capital Convention. We can offer those to you as well. And it's just a fun concept, routine, idea that you can use with this being a dust bunny. So a dust bunny could appear out of the book or something else. But looking at puppets in a different way, here's another little monster guy. This guy happened to be very popular this year at the convention, this little blue monster. I think we gave one away, and then everybody wanted them, and we were out of them. We do have them back in stock now. But he's a little monster with little legs, and he can also be like a little dust bunny type of thing. If you do a real cycling show, he can come out of a little trash can, and he talks about recycling and that type of thing. So all kind of fun stuff, just sharing idea after idea with you that you could possibly use for your show. I'm going to share with you another one, and we're talking about different ideas. The book can become a puppet stage. Whenever you're using a puppet and the puppet doesn't have legs or feet, you want to find some way to make it to the next level, a little bit of a professionalism to hide the fact that it doesn't have legs and feet. So you want to create a puppet stage. And you know, a lot of us travel and we're doing walk around type of puppetry and magic and ballooning. So how can we do that? And things like baskets and books, they can create a temporary puppet stage that simply hides that part of your arm. So we're showing you a couple of ideas with that. This is an Easter basket. That is kind of like a pop-up Easter basket. You can pack flat and then play big. And so this happened to be a bunny type of Easter basket, but the same type of concept, a little bit of what we shared earlier, I'm going to share with you. So obviously, out of an Easter basket, you would hope that an Easter bunny is going to appear. And there's the little Easter bunny ears, and there's the bunny ears. Oh, I've got my bunny with me, and he's going to come up, but he's really shy, and he keeps popping up, and the kids are like, ah, it's a bunny, it's a bunny. And then he goes back down, and then all of a sudden you get him to come up, but instead of it being a bunny, I'm an alligator. But you're not a bunny, nope. But I want to be a bunny because I like Easter eggs. You like it? Oh, yeah, I like Easter eggs. You like Easter eggs? Yeah, I like to color them. But not the real eggs. They're too expensive, the plastic ones. Okay, just the plastic Easter eggs. So he loves the Easter eggs, and he wants to be a bunny, but he's an alligator. But can you be an alligator and still like eggs? Well, of course I can. And so he can interact with the kids. And so, again, an alligator puppet, adding the ears on it, it's just taking that little concept, that unexpected. They expect a bunny, but do the unexpected. Do the unexpected, and it gets them every time. It engages them, it grabs their interest, and all of a sudden you can go into your routine. And then if you're in edutainment, you can teach them something at the same time. So again, just taking a regular Easter basket, cutting a hole in the back, your arm goes through, the puppet goes through, and at the end, this will pack flat. So lots of baskets, boxes, suitcases that you can create a temporary puppet stage that can pack flat or pack in your storage to take with you in your travel case. But a way to take those puppets that you may have going, how do I incorporate this because it doesn't have legs? You can by creating a temporary puppet stage like this. So another way to kind of utilize that in your show. I'll show you another one.
Dan, let me jump in.
Yes, go ahead.
I love this idea, by the way. This is amazing because I have Ben in the basket, and of course he comes out through the basket. But honestly, I've never even thought about like just going to the store and trying to find different items that they could come out of. The box that you originally mentioned, where did you say you found those?
They're at Home Goods, I believe. Yeah, they're at Home Goods. And right now, if there's a Home Goods in your area, if not, sometimes there's a Ross.
Yeah.
TJ Maxx sometimes has them. Look in the decor section. That's where we found those. Hobby Lobby also has those. If you have a Hobby Lobby in your area, I would say Joann's, but I think those are all closing in most areas right now. But you may be able to find a good deal if they have some left in your area and still open. But anywhere like that where they sell decor, and they're pretty cheap. They're $9-10. This would have to be $5 because it was on sale.
Yeah, honestly, it's amazing because you could just walk through the store and start picturing your stage, looking around and trying to look at different items and decide, does this look like a good, puppet stage? Does this look like and then you just can purchase it and then turn it into your next act. So anyways,
Absolutely. Yeah,
yeah,
and if you have a fish or a crab puppet, or you want to incorporate something for the summer and you're doing a summer show, a beach,
yeah,
the plastic beach pails, they're pretty cheap. Cut out the back of it, they can pop up out of the beach pail. That you got a little crab puppet or fish or dolphin or something of that nature.
yeah. It's so good. All right, I'll get out of
here. So another one that we found, talking about that, another one that we found, these actually came from Target. So this was like a little container. The top was open, and I think it had a handle that came across. And it was a little container. It was like, there's something you can do with that. And my friend Tim showed me this, and I was like, okay, there's something with that we could do. And so this becomes, it's a nice little thing, and you can even take it to the next level, add some dimension, add some paint to it, make it a little bit rustic, add some little vines and greenery, maybe some flowers, make it more realistic looking. But this can also become a puppet stage. And we cut a hole in the other side, and the puppet kind of comes up out of it, and it's a little squirrel. You could have a chipmunk. You could have a bird that kind of appears, out of the tree trunk here, and you're just holding the tree trunk, which becomes the puppet stage, and then they're interacting with you out of the little tree trunk. I believe these were about $3 at the Target, and we just simply took the bottom, we cut a hole in the bottom, and then the top was already open. And I think it was like a little basket container type of situation. So
I was just going
$3
to
at the Target.
what was the original purpose is like a little basket?
I think it was like a little flower basket
Okay.
container type of thing. So, when you go into Target, they have those whole discount sections that are there. Always stop and look at those because there's often some really fun stuff that you can go, oh, I've got an idea for that. Or like me, I don't have an idea for that, but it's really cool. And I'll let it sit in the garage until I get an idea for it. So that happens to a lot of us creatives as well. But yeah, that's one thing that comes from Target. A little planter, I believe is what it was. So lots of little cool things that you can do. Here's another little guy that's a flower puppet. This is one that we sell, danpuppets.com. And it's a little flower puppet. You start off with a pot like this. You're holding the pot, and the pot's kind of sad. His eyes look a little sad. Why are you sad? Because nothing's growing. But, growing a flower, growing a plant, it takes time. It takes love. It takes patience. So you have to plant seeds. You have to water the seeds. You can go into that whole thing, especially as you're going into summer when plants start and you're planting flowers and they're starting to grow. And then he's trying really, really hard. So he's going and all of a sudden, boom, the flower appears. And so it velcros on the top, and of course you can do a whole routine and do a lot better than I am, just kind of showing the concept where a flower just velcros on the top and you start with a little pot. You can go into a whole routine where you're planting a seed, pretend to plant a seed, then you're adding water, and then he's patiently waiting and patiently waiting, but he's not really patient. He's kind of grumpy about it. But you help him along the way, and then he's growing, boom, he grew a flower. So that's kind of a fun spring, Eastery kind of thing, a good concept that you can use. And this puppet's available through us, danpuppets.com. It's one of those, inexpensive stock puppets, but something fun that you may come up with a cool idea around now that you could use. So incorporating a little bit of magic in with your puppetry, this is something that involves the kids to get to the puppet to actually appear. So sometimes we'll take a prop and set it on stage, just like this. So the kids see there's a bucket, there's a box, there's something there. And then we bring up 6 kids, and each one of the kids, we give them a different animal. So we've got a frog, we've got a fish, we've got a chicken, we've got a rabbit, we've got an elephant, and we've got a skunk. And we give them each one of those. And then we ask one of the kids to pick a number, 1 through 6. So, Lewis, pick me a number, 1 through 6.
I'll choose 4.
4. Okay, let's see if we can do it. So we're going to go to 4. Which is the 4th one in order? 1, 2, 3, 4. You picked the 4th one. It is a bunny. You picked the bunny rabbit. I wonder what's in the box. And then you go over to the box, and it's your bunny. So it's kind of an intro to that. This is the 6 force. You guys are familiar with that. 1, 1, 2, 3. You count 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You SIX, and you go to the 3 one. And so you get to that particular forced animal that you're trying to do, and then you go to your box, and that's the particular animal that you forced. And you can change it from a rabbit to any of them, just moving it to order. But this is a good magical way to intro the point to where you make the puppet appear. So just another little idea of something that you could use with a little bit of magic in with it as well. Another thing that I want to show you that was actually very popular, we'll come back to the popcorn in just a moment, which happens to be my very favorite treat. But I want to show you something that I shared, and it got a lot of interest. And I thought, other people may want to see this because I only shared it in one workshop. And I thought, let's bring this back and talk about it tonight. So whether you're watching right now or you're watching this a little bit later, this may stir some ideas for you as well. And I call this my ghost can. When we come out, this is a pop-up can. It's collapsed, and all of a sudden, out of the box, the ghost appears, right? And when the ghost appears, it does something kind of special. And if you're watching the ghost, it can actually, what did it just do? It lit up. And so it will light up, and as it lights up, it can actually talk. Hello, I'm the ghost. And what we've got in here is a pop-up can, laundry basket can. We got this from Spirit Halloween, but when I saw this, I thought, ooh, the white on it could really illuminate a light. And so the light is what you would consider a closet light. You find these on Amazon in a 2-pack, and they come like this. Flip them on, put your batteries in there, and they come with a little bit of a remote. So you hide the remote in your pocket, to your side, or on your table somewhere. And so when it's time to make him light up and actually talk, you just press the on switch, which the light comes on, lights up, and then you go to your high setting. And every time you kind of press it on, he's going to light up, and he can light up actually to the sound or the syllables that you're using. So this could actually become a light up puppet in some way if you're using it for that. So another little idea that you could use, but when we were sharing this at Capital Kidvention and talking about it and did a little routine with it, a lot of ideas came out of that. And they said, with a pop-up can, if you're not doing a Halloween show or a ghost show, it could become something else. And somebody said it could become a marshmallow. It could become a roll of toilet paper. And on the back side of it, you could really draw another face. And if it's Easter, it could become a marshmallow bunny. So you could draw a bunny's face or a peep, a marshmallow peep, and it could become a large marshmallow peep. And it could be one of those puppets that will actually light up and interact with you. So again, Amazon, it's one of those called closet lights. There's 2 of them. Get the ones with the remote. It's a rechargeable thing. And I think this one needs to be recharged. Otherwise, and then you turn them on, you go to the high setting, medium setting, or low setting. But each time you hit the high setting or the medium setting, you hit it over and over again. It will blink every time you hit that. So you can hit that to how he's actually talking. And it kind of works that way. Any questions about that one? Any questions so far with anything? I'm continuing to share, but I want to make sure I take time for any questions or comments.
Fawn has a question. Where do you get the can?
Yeah, Fawn. Hi, Fawn. I enjoyed seeing your pictures of your puppet and everything and how you're using that. So fun, so fun. But Fawn, yes, this came from Spirit Halloween. And Spirit Halloweens pop up all the time over Halloween, but I believe they have an online store that's open all the time. And look for Ghost Bucket, our pop-up Ghost Bucket. They have these. They have a coffin one. They have a pumpkin one that is really cool as well, jack-o'-lantern pumpkin. But you can find it there. You can also find pop-up laundry baskets that are white, and then put your own design on the front of those as well. Because they do make pop-up cans that are different colors and some that are white. You can probably do yellow, maybe. It'll fluoresce the light as well. And put your own face and your own design and drawing on there. Yeah,
that's actually amazing. And if possible, I assume you could probably cut a hole in the back of that and make that into your next stage.
absolutely. I mean, you could do that. And pop-up cans come in all shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
Gary Mitchell, if you join the studio, Smile Maker Studio, he has a whole class lecture where he's talking about different things in the pop-up cans. And they're small and large and medium and different colors. And definitely the pop-up cans can be a great pop-up stage as well.
So Dan, I know you mentioned your website, danpuppets.com, and when I put it in the thread so people can see that. But Do you sell the puppets with the bunny ears on it, or is that just something you created?
Yes, so the dust bunny we do sell. The little bunny ears that we
Yeah,
added onto the monkey and the alligator.
yeah.
The monkey, the alligator, and some of those are stock puppets. We just simply took a headband that you would find at Easter time,
Oh,
buy a buck or two at the Dollar Tree. We cut the ears off and we just pinned them on with safety pin so they
I
can
get
easily come off
oh,
when.
that's easy. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just an easy little thing like that. But and then so yeah, danpuppets.com. When you go to the website right now, you're going to see the homepage. Just
right.
bear with us. We are working on a brand new website that will release all of our products and all of the things that we're talking about. We just wanted to revamp it and take it to the next level. It is in process right now. Probably in the next 2 weeks, you'll see that go live. So check back with us at danpuppets.com. In the
Yeah,
meantime, if you have a question on something you've seen, or if you've got a puppet idea, or hey, I don't know where to find this, please email me, admin@danpuppets.com. Many of you are my Facebook friends, and you can reach out to me by Facebook Messenger, and I can direct you from there. But there's a lot of stuff that we have in stock that we sell and can provide, and I can give you that information as well. You can reach us on Facebook, and we're going to put the Facebook link that you'll find our Facebook page in the comments as well, so you'll be able to
good.
find us.
I'll grab that because I know. Yeah, I'll throw that up there. Oh, it looks like Christopher did. Okay, perfect. Yeah,
Okay.
sounds good. I already want a dust bunny and that little monster. I didn't get him at the convention, so
Oh yeah,
yeah,
he was very popular. The
I
little
know he
blue
was.
monster. Yeah,
I
so many
know.
fun things that you can do with that little blue guy. It's just and put him in your pocket, pop him out as you're doing walk around. It's just one of those pack flat, play big kind of things.
Yeah, I already want. Save him.
Yes. Okay. So I want to show you, around this time, we're talking about bunnies because it just happens to be that time of year. So I want to show you some different style of bunny puppets that we have found. So here are a few bunny puppets. This is one that I found yesterday at the Center for Puppetry Arts. I encourage you to check that out. If you're ever in Atlanta, Georgia, check out the Center for Puppetry Arts. They house a lot of puppets from all over the world, but there's Sherry Lewis's Lamb Chop and Hush Peppy are there, along with some of her costumes. There's also several pieces from the Muppet Show, from Sesame Street that are on display. They're constantly doing puppet performances. They do offer lectures and online classes as well. But it's a really cool thing. And we got to go down yesterday and meet some of the Muppeteers, from Steve Whitmire to Fran Brill to Dave Goles. That you guys may be familiar with him. Frank Oz joined virtually for this lecture that we got to experience yesterday. And it was really, really cool. So check out the Center for Puppetry Arts. It's another great resource. But while I was there, in their little gift shop, they had some vintage puppets that are no longer available. And I found this little guy and I thought, man, he's really cute. And he's very movable. You can be very animated with this guy. His arms, his head, his little ears, and he's appearing out of a top hat. The top hat's kind of falling apart. But if you've got some old puppets around, look at those old puppets and think, how can I reuse these? How can I refurbish these? Can I add something to them? With this one, I think I'm going to remove the top hat and put something else here. Because he's so animated, I'm probably going to remove the bow tie and do some other cool stuff with him because he's so good of a puppet. So if you have some of those older puppets you've just stored away and you're like, I don't know what I'm going to do with them, pull them back out, because there's always, add different eyes, a hair, some feathers. There's other things that you can do with them. Never just give up on them. Never give up on a puppet. There's always ideas that you can use. So when I saw this little guy sitting there, I was like, okay, there's something I can do with that. So lots of different little cool puppet ideas. This is one, just a little hand puppet. So puppets don't have to be expensive ventriloquist style Muppet puppets that you purchase. Sometimes our budgets are very small as entertainers, and you can make a small investment into puppetry and then add some cool features in a different routine. It's all about bringing that puppet to life. Is really what's going to connect and engage with your audience and what they experience through the routine and through how you utilize them. So never think that a puppet, oh, it's just an inexpensive puppet, I can't use that. No, every puppet is important. You just have to find a way to utilize it where it's engaging to your audience. So this little guy, though it's a little hand puppet, you can tell it has lots of potential. These eyes are just kind of printed eyes. I probably change this and put some dome eyes, make them a little bit more animated. I probably add a little tongue in there, maybe a little bow tie, and of course add a little puppet stage to him. But he has a lot of potential of what he can do, and his arms move too, so you can put your hands in his arms. So you can go back and forth from the mouth to the arms. And if you're really talented, maybe you can move the mouth and the arms at the same time. I don't know. That probably take a lot of practice. But yes, another little puppet you could use. This is a Folk Manus rabbit puppet. Folk Manus has a lot of cute little animal puppets, and this is definitely a little rabbit puppet this time of year. So if you're doing walk around, if you are a balloon artist, face painter, and it's around Easter time, or you've been invited to an Easter event, take a little bunny puppet with you. The bunny puppet doesn't have to talk. It can just talk to you. It can just gesture. Anything like that, just make it come to life. If it sits there still, it's not animated, it's not alive, and it's not engaging. Make sure that it has character. Even a simple hand puppet that doesn't talk can be a character. And then, of course, you can add little features to this as well to make it a personal character that comes to life. All right, we're going to keep going here. Oh, I think I'm going to wait for that one. I told you I'd share with you about the popcorn. I was like, oh, I forgot about the popcorn. So popcorn happens to be my very favorite treat. It's actually my very favorite food. I will go to the movie theater just to get the popcorn, not necessarily care about the movie. But popcorn is one of my favorite treats. But it's also my friend Leo's very favorite treat. Would you guys like to meet Leo? Are you sure? Sometimes when people meet Leo, they're a little fearful because he can be kind of ferocious. So don't be fearful because he's very friendly. And his favorite treat, his very favorite treat is popcorn. Let me see if I can find it. Leo, wake up. You've got a show to do. Come on, come on. Everybody meet Leo the lion. This is my friend Leo. And he's a little lion, and his very favorite treat is popcorn. And he loves popcorn, don't you, Leo? Yeah, so, and when we give him popcorn, he actually does special magic tricks for us, don't you, Leo? So, Leo, we're going to give you some popcorn, your very favorite treat, and you're going to do some tricks for us, aren't you? Okay, okay. So you kind of lead, I'm not going to do the whole routine for you, but you kind of lead into that. And this routine that I'm going to kind of show you is what we call funny bone. And it's this entire routine called funny bone that has to do with popcorn being the puppet's very favorite treat, but this is where it ends up going. So we talk about, let me kind of set this up real quick. That popcorn is his very favorite treat. He loves popcorn. He loves popcorn. Lions sometimes get a bad reputation that they're ferocious and they're mean, but he's not. But he loves popcorn, and he says, no, he doesn't love popcorn when I'm not looking, which calls the kids to engage, and they're responding back. But when you're not looking, he also does this. What do you have? Leo, what is that? That looks like a bone. A bone? What kind of, that's a bone? What kind of bone is that? Oh, it's a funny bone. I thought your very favorite treat was popcorn. It's funny bones. His very favorite treat is funny bones. Well, we're not going to have a funny bone right now. And so you pull the funny bone away from him. He gets it back, and you finally pull it away. I'm like, I'm going to put the funny bone here. Okay, I'm going to put it in the bucket. We're not going to have the funny bone right now. We're going to talk about something else, okay? Okay, we're going to do that. What? He's got something else? It's another funny bone. And so what I'm doing here is definitely the multiplying sponge. Or in this case, it's the multiplying sponge. And so every time there's two small funny bones. So each time we reach to his mouth and he makes one appear, I've got this one pumped, it's squeezed in my hand. So I'm grabbing this one, he's tugging. As I pull that one, he grabs the other one. I set it aside, And when I set it in the bucket, as I'm setting it in the bucket, I'm just palming it in my hand again. And then I go back up, he's making it appear, whoop, I grab it, boom, and we're doing that over and over again. And that can keep going and going and going. And if you've done the multiplying sponge, kids love that. They get engaged with it. They're screaming every time he makes another one appear. And finally, you take them all and you're like, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do this, and you talk about it. And you're like, we're going to do popcorn. We're going to talk about popcorn. You reach into here. I guess he does like funny bones, and there's nothing else left. So with the multiplying sponge, the kids think that this is completely full of funny bones, but all of a sudden they've turned into one large funny bone, which he grabs, and that's kind of how you end the routine. So the whole routine is called the funny bone, and it's kind of a funny little engaging multiplying sponge routine that we've come up with. This is available through Dan Puppets. It's one of those routines. It's brand new. We created this with Tim Presley and his foam products, if you're familiar with that. And our little routine and fun stuff come with that. I use a lion for the funny bone. You could use a dog puppet or any other puppet. You could use an alligator. And it's just simply the multiplying foam sponge. Again, we have two smaller foam sponges, bones, and then one larger one. And we keep the larger one inside. We do the two smaller ones and then make the larger one appear at the end, which is kind of the big climax to the particular routine. We use popcorn, but you can use whatever your favorite treat is that you think Leo or whatever puppet you have is his favorite treat. But it's really not. You just think it is. His favorite treat is the funny bone. He likes bones. He likes chewable bones, like dogs like little bone treats. But his is the funny bone. There's a whole build up to that because how does a bone become funny? With laughter. It has to be funny, right? So you do this whole thing and you're building it up, you're collecting it, and that's how you get the bigger sponge. So just a little snapshot of that particular routine. It's pretty funny. I use the lion puppet, very engaging. This particular puppet, the reason why I'm showing it is it's one that you don't necessarily need a puppet stage for because he has the two small hands in the front. And if you just hold your hand here, he doesn't need to have anything hiding the rest of him because you can't see the rest of his body. You see a tail and you see two hands. You don't really see the rest of it. So it makes him a great walk-around character. I like the fact that this particular puppet has a soft mouth. So when I'm performing with him, he can actually make gestures, he can make looks, he can do different things with his mouth and really get some good expressions out of that. Find a puppet that has some really good expressions with your routine because those expressions really connect with your audience and connect with the kids and really create some engaging moments with that as well. So that's Leo the Lion. I think those are several ideas that we wanted to share with you tonight, but I want to make sure that I take time to answer questions that you guys may have or comments or ideas or suggestions because when you share an idea, it definitely can trigger an idea for someone else's creativity. So we want to take time to answer any questions or thoughts that you may have, and then I'm going to share with you one last thing, which is the magic rabbit in a hat.
Yeah, so far, great stuff. Honestly, I have a Home Goods and the other discount store right next to each other. They're right across the street from me. So
Oh,
tomorrow I'm gonna go there and just start looking around. I just never even thought about the whole puppet stage thing. So that was such a great idea. So, but Fawn says that she loves popcorn too. Nancy DeVito says that she made a rabbit puppet from a stuffed animal and
oh yes.
learned that, or she took a class at a ventriloquist convention. And so, so yeah, if anyone has any other questions, throw them in the chat, and I'll make sure that we see them. But otherwise, so far, I think we're good. We still have a little less than 10 minutes left, and so yeah, if you've got one more idea, yeah,
Yeah.
let's talk about it.
So this is our magic rabbit in a hat. This is a product that we produce at Dan Puppets. And the Magic Rabbit in a Hat puppet has been around for a long time. A lot of people have various versions of that. We wanted one that was a little bit of a bigger stage size version. So we played around with several different patterns, and then I came up with a pattern and created this guy. And he's been pretty popular. I wanted a bigger hat. I wanted some other things that we really could utilize him for. And so this is the Magic Rabbit in a Hat puppet. And we create him in two ways. And if you have one of these for us, you may have one of two versions that we have. So this is our Magic Rabbit in a Hat puppet. And this hat, you can hold it as you're performing with him, or you can set it on your little puppet stand or prop stand that you may have. An adjustable prop stand, which my laptop's actually setting on it right now, works where you can adjust him to the height that you need, and then you don't actually have to hold the hat. You can work on the props and things. So there's two different versions to this little guy. There's the version that's a glove style where your fingers go into the arms and his arms move and then his head moves. And then there's the style where he can actually talk. So if you wanted your character to actually talk and not just gesture and move and just whisper in your ear, you can use the mouth version. And so we had to make the mouth version as well. We had some people that were wanting that were Vince, and they wanted to be able to use that. And then some, even if you have an open mouth, he doesn't necessarily have to talk with a voice. He can still whisper in your ear, and you can use the mouth for, multiplying carrots or something of that nature that you want to do. There's a lot of funny routines that you can use, especially this time of year with appearing eggs, multiplying eggs, lots of fun stuff that you can do with a rabbit in a hat. When we sell these now, we actually send you 2 books full of ideas and routines that you can use with your Magic Rabbit in a Hat. So they actually come as a package because we realize people want ideas and concepts that they can use or modify or that stimulate creativity. So we send those with you as now as well. And I know Lewis and I were talking the other day, and he had a really cool routine that he started doing with his Rabbit in a Hat puppet. He got one of these from me this past year. And he started using one, and I thought it was really neat. And as we're talking about eggs and bunnies and Easter, I thought this was a different take on it.
Yeah, so I love this puppet. I mean, it is honestly the most unique puppet that I have, and so he just recently started in my show, and so I did a mixture. He does some puppet gags, which I got from David Ginn's book Children Love Animals, but still wanted him to do something that was magical, and so I wanted, the ball in the vase. Magicians know this ball and vase magic trick. I needed one that was large enough that you could put it on your table, like your purple table that you have there, and that kids could see it. Most of those ball and vases are small, but I found one on Amazon. It was like 12 bucks, and it was a large one. I mean, I would say it's about 7 inches tall, and it's big, but it has an egg on the inside. And so instead of just a regular ball, it was an egg. And so I started thinking about what could I do with this egg, and so my bunny, he actually does the ball and vase magic trick where the egg magically disappear. Or actually, I put it in my pocket, and then unbeknownst to me, it magically appears in the vase. And so I lift it back up, and it's back in the vase. And then I start to realize that he's actually doing magic. The egg disappears again, and then I have some sponge eggs on my body at different areas. And so what I start doing is I reach into the pocket, I reach into my back pocket, I reach into my side pocket, and everywhere I reach, I keep finding these eggs. Which gives me some frustration with him, and I tell him to stop making those eggs appear, and then eventually it goes back into the vase. And then I put him away, and then as a callback to this, other magic tricks that I pull out later, these foam eggs, I just put them inside, and then I pull out a foam bag, and then a foam egg, and then I can turn behind me and yell at, I call him Presto at the moment. I yell at Presto to stop making these eggs appear. And so anyways, that was a routine I started to play with where he actually does magic.
That's cool. Yeah, yeah. And some of the puns that you were sharing with me that David definitely shares, it's a great resource. If you don't have that book, check it out. David is such a genius when it comes to those types of things and so many years of wisdom that he shares in his book. So that's a really cool resource to check out. But yeah, I love it. It's a great idea. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
bunnies
amazing,
and eggs, they kind of go together. And there's the chocolate bunny.
especially this time of year.
So there's another piece I want to share with you. This little silk that comes in handy with this guy. Again, we shell him with two books that give you ideas and routines. But this is not in the book. But I found this little silk. It's a little puff of smoke. Uh, Be Gone Silk. This comes from Barry Mitchell, BarryMitchellProducts.com. You'll find this. And so this is one of those little cool things that when he's trying to do a trick, he reaches down and he pulls it out. And you're like, what is that? You made a silk appear? He made it disappear. It's gone. And so you can play with that. And I love this silk. It's one of my favorite ones because it's a puff of smoke. They expect something to be on it, but it's just a puff of smoke, and whatever it is has disappeared. It's just a neat little resource and idea just to share with you. And again, you can get those from BarryMitchellProducts.com.
What's unique about this puppet in particular is you can put props in the hat. So the hat is big enough to where you can actually put props in there. And so that's what I did is my props for what he does, they're all in the hat.
Yeah. So these are the hats that we make that come with this particular character, and we wanted a bigger hat. So you can do an appearing pole out of the hat, and that is big enough. Your base is big enough, and the hat's big enough to put the appearing pole inside of there. Put all of your props. So on the back side of it, this is what you're seeing. You're seeing the hole here, and you're seeing a huge platform. There's a lot of capacity here, and it's black on black, so I don't know if you can see in that very well, but it's a lot of room because of the way the structure of the hat is angled for you to put stuff at the base and be able to reach in and pull out.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So that thank you so much, Dan. I think that I mean everything that you just shared, honestly, the ideas are going through my head because I already use puppets in my magic show. And so so you've already shared enough, but if you don't use puppets, this gives you kind of an intro on how to start to use puppets because like I said, or like you said, the puppet can talk in your ear, he can speak in your own voice. You don't have to be a ventriloquist. As a matter of fact, most of the magicians I know, Barry Mitchell included, they're not ventriloquists. The puppets talk for themselves and the kids don't care. It's just funny, anyways. And so,
Yeah.
Fawn has a question. Do you use music with your puppets?
Music, absolutely. Music is so important. And so using those effects are important, using intros. So each character that I use in the show, each puppet character has a different intro music. And so there's 10 or 15 seconds of just music that will play that signals that particular character that I've created for that particular character. And so if I'm returning to a show or to a group, to an audience, and they've seen my show before, they know that music, and they know that when that music plays, Harold is coming out. Harold the rubber chicken puppet is coming out because he has his own routine music that comes out. Having special effects in your show is really good. But anytime you use music or use sound, make sure that you have a somebody that's following your show that's doing the sound, or you're controlling it yourself, and having a remote where you're controlling the sound effects, the sound, the loudness, the softness of the music, when the cue starts and when the cue stops. And there's lots of ways to do that in today's technology where you can have a remote in your pocket or attached right inside of your coat, where you can control that by just pressing two buttons and you can go to the next track. But music is so important. Music creates an environment and definitely is part of that engagement process.
Oh, oh, that's so good, Dan. So I'm already looking forward to next year's Capitol Convention. So I know that, like we said in the beginning, we've got an awesome puppet track. So I mean, if you found some information from tonight, just imagine what 3 days could teach you and playing with these puppets at night. And I know you had already mentioned when you were teaching classes, people were throwing ideas at you that you automatically get even more ideas by just being around like minded people. And so I really appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. That was super informative.
Well, thank you so much, Lewis, for the opportunity. I'm looking forward to Capital Convention. It's going to be an awesome year. Just being with the puppets and being with everybody, it's a great convention. Out of all the conventions I get to do, I love being with this group of people. It's a lot of fun. So thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
And then your website, when do you think it'll be active enough for people to see the different items?
So all the products and stuff, probably within the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
So just check back with us on our Facebook page. If you're following that, we'll definitely give you a launch date. Hey, it's up, check it out. But in the meantime, again, reach out to me either through Facebook Messenger or admin@danpuppets.com and say, hey, do you have a product that would work with this? Or hey, I saw in your lecture tonight you used this.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about it? And we can definitely get that order taken care of for you. We've had people reach out to us with custom orders, so we're always working on custom puppets that we're creating for our clients. So if you have a custom puppet idea that you're like, I don't know if this type of creature exists, but it's an alien that kind of looks like a dinosaur, but like this, we'll do a sketch for you and then we'll create it from scratch. So we can definitely make those concepts and creative ideas come to life.
Yeah, that's actually a great point because that's exactly what I did with you. Is I mentioned that I want the rabbit to be able to use his hands. I mentioned a few different elements, and then you created exactly what I was looking for. So that's such good information. So yes, everyone, if you're watching this, reach out to Dan, watch the website, like the Facebook page, so that when Dan's stuff becomes live, you'll get the information that way.
And this week we'll have more stuff that'll be added to the Facebook page. So if you're watching that, more content, more stuff is being added. If you're currently using one of our puppets, feel free to share those pictures with us. We love to see people using the puppets. So if you're using one of our puppets, if you got one of ours at a convention or you purchased something from us, send us pictures. Send us to go to the Facebook page, message the Facebook page with a picture of you using puppets. We love that type of stuff. We love to celebrate those things with you.
That's awesome. All right. Dan, thank you for your time tonight. Everyone, we like to keep it right around an hour, so I'm going to break off from here. But thank you again for giving us some information and spending some time with us.
Thank you guys.